Good afternoon and welcome into another edition of Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. I'm Chris Yao, joined by Wade Neely, hanging on from down in Pulaski.
Good to be with you, partner.
Just trying to make sure that you have survived the Pulaski City Council meeting. So glad to see you're here.
Whew, I don't dabble in politics a ton, but every now and again I draw a stray assignment, and so I drew the ceremonial City Council of Pulaski. They meet every 2 weeks, so I was sitting in today. Good to be. I feel a little more informed as a citizen, I suppose, when I go to these things, right?
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's there's a lot going on down there, and so glad to know that you are fulfilling part of your citizen duties.
Yeah, and but it's good to be with you guys. Already feels great outside after, we've talked yesterday about how bad the weather was last week. Feels like it's going to be a great week in terms of both our calendar and in terms of Mother Nature here this week. So pumped.
Yeah, the weather has done a 180. Loving it. Sunshine, blue skies, smiling at me. We got a good show. We've got Eric Williams, who's going to join us from Fox Sports in the next segment as we will get ready for the weekend ahead in the USFL. They'll open in Birmingham, Memphis. I think that's it. I think they'll be in Birmingham and Memphis this weekend. So a lot of exciting things happening in the USFL. We've also got Chip Walters, who always joins us on Tuesday. So looking forward to talking with Chip. And our top 5 draft today is Masters moments, top 5 Masters moments in history. There's plenty of them. So I'll be interested to see where the top 5 land. So
I got a feeling we're all we've got a few that we're all going to be just circling around, and it's just going to be a question of who gets which one first.
Who gets there first? That's right. Should be interesting, and I'm looking forward to it because we've got a lot to get to. It's going to be a fantastic show. But before we get into all of the other things, we have to get you yesterday's results and today's schedule on the rundown.
This is the rundown.
All right, no sponsor today, so we will start in high school baseball action from yesterday. Columbia Academy down to Battleground Academy 4-3. Brentwood 7-2 win over John Overton. It was Cannon County 7, Watertown nothing, and Fairview 17-0 winners over Cheatham County. Davidson Academy 8-3 over Clarksville Academy, and Collinwood 17-1 against Hampshire as Independence 10 running Columbia Central 11-1, and Dixon County with a 22-0 win over Kenwood, while East Robertson put 10 on Trousdale County while allowing 0. Franklin Road Academy, a 12-2 winner over Providence Christian, and Giles County 4-0 over Summertown. Is there coverage on PulaskiCitizen.com yet of that one?
Not just yet, but coming here shortly. And
Yes.
if you check out Pulaski Citizen Live, you can go back and listen to our broadcast from last night.
There you go. Greenbrier 3-0 winners over White House. Centennial 17-0 over Hillsborough. Murfreesboro Central 12. Hugh Vog 5. Laverne 2-1 winners over Cane Ridge. Spring Hill down Lawrence County 8-1. Loretto was a 6-2 winner over Florence of Alabama. It was Martin Luther King 21, Glencliff 2, McGavick edged Harpeth 5, Team Monarchs down Franklin Christian 5, Mountain View 9-4 winners over Lebanon, 4 down Nashville Christian 11-0, Ellisville 4-1 winner over Ravenwood, Portland 5, Liberty Creek 1, Summit 2, Rockville 1, Culleoka 3-1 winners over Santa Fe, and Stewart's Creek 4-3 over Smyrna. Stratford down Whites Creek 27-5. And Tullahoma defeats Page 5-1. It was Middle Tennessee Christian 3, University School of Nashville 0. Richland blanked Wayne County 4-0, and Grace Franklin was a 7-5 winner over Webb School. Smith County 14, Westmoreland 2, and Sycamore a 3-2 winner over White House Heritage.
To softball we go. Mount Pleasant blanking Culleoka yesterday, 16-0 your final there. Good Pasture also blanking Ezel Harding 15-0. Friendship Christian 3 over Westmoreland's 1. Lebanon wins over Gallatin. How about the slugfest here? 18-16. Woo, a lot of runs in that contest there as Lebanon wins. Centennial knocks off John Overton 18-0. A pitcher's duel between Murfreesboro Central Magnet and Maplewood 1-0 your final there, favoring Magnet. McGavick knocks off Laverne 10-0. Middle Tennessee Christian 8, BGA 4. Columbia, a game that Chris was at yesterday. How about the Lions going on a nice little start early and hanging on to defeat Richland 5-4, your score there. Tullahoma knocks off Spring Hill 3-1, Stewart's Creek 6, Wilson Central 5, Columbia Academy 4, Summertown 2, Zion Christian 3, Loretto 1. And into boys soccer now we go. Giles County goes on the road last night. The Bobcats get a 3-0 win versus Lincoln County, jumping up to knock off the Falcons there. Greenbrier 4, Merrill Hyde 2, Brentwood 6, Page 2. Also in now college baseball, a game played here in Pulaski. Freed Hardeman knocks off UT Southern 8-5. JUCO baseball, Cleveland State 7, Columbia State 6. Columbia State would salvage the split on the day, however, with a 3-2 win in the second game. College softball, Lindsey Wilson wins not 1, not 2, but all 3 games of that triple-header we talked about versus UT Southern yesterday. 3-0 in game 1, 7-2 in the second game, and 15-6 in the nightcap. Cleveland State, a 4-3 winner over Columbia State, and Cleveland State also almost blanking Columbia State, 9-1 the final in that second contest.
Major League Baseball, Braves in 10 get a 5-4 win over the Reds after A.J. Minter blows the save. Astros 8-2 winners over the Pirates. The Rockies down the Cardinals 7-4, and the Diamondbacks were 3-0 winners over the Brewers in shootout fashion, keeping their playoff hopes alive. The Nashville Predators 3, Calgary just 2. Today's schedule in baseball action: we will have Laverne at Cane Ridge at 4. At 4:30, it's Montgomery Bell Academy at Christ Presbyterian. Pope Prep is at Ensworth at 4:30. Lashville Christian and Good Pasture also at 4:30. Gallatin at Hunters Lane. Father Ryan at Lipscomb Academy. Maplewood plays host to Hillwood, and Mount Juliet brings in Ezo Harding. Franklin Road Academy is at Providence Christian. Antioch is at Stratford. Watertown welcomes Smith County, and Stratford's at Whites Creek. At 5 o'clock, it's the Tennessee Heat at Joe Burns. Richland on the return trip from the Wildcats of Wayne County at 5 o'clock. Zion Christian hosting Riverside Christian also at 5. At 5:30, it's Westmoreland and Cannon County. Hampshire at home against Collinwood, and East Robertson's at Trousdale County.
Into the 6 o'clock window we go. Santa Fe will visit Culleoka this evening. Clarksville Academy travels to Davidson Academy. Middle Tennessee Monarchs will go to Eagleville. DCA is at Friendship Christian. Webb School at Grace Christian Franklin. Columbia back in action as well at Independence at 6 o'clock. Dixon County will also travel to Kenwood tonight. Mount Pleasant will visit Hohenwald to take on the Lady Panthers of Lewis County. Blackman travels to Oakland. Tullahoma goes to Page. Siegel will make a quick little jaunt across town to visit Riverdale. McCracken County out of Kentucky will travel to Rossview. Hillsboro will visit Centennial. These are now 6:30 ball games. Graves County, Kentucky will take on Clarksville on the road. Columbia Academy will host BGA this evening in a pretty good one there in Muletown. Brentwood Academy visits Franklin. Brentwood will also travel to John Overton. Still 6:30 contest, University School at Nashville at Middle Tennessee Christian. Hume Fogg will travel to Murfreesboro Central Magnet. Nolensville will travel to Ravenwood. Lawrence County will visit Spring Hill. The Giles County will travel to Summertown here today in a rematch of that good one yesterday at Sam Davis Park. Cheatham County will visit Fairview. We're now into a 7 o'clock first pitch for these ball games here. Beach goes to Hendersonville. Portland travels to Liberty Creek. McGavock will host Station Camp. Montgomery Central will entertain Creekwood at home tonight. Mount Juliet will also host Green Hill. Smyrna will travel to Stewart's Creek. Rockvale will go to Summit. White House Heritage is at Sycamore tonight. Greenbrier is at White House. And Lebanon will travel to Wilson Central.
Softball this afternoon. Station Camp's at Hunters Lane at 4 o'clock. At 4:30, Gallatin is at Beach. Cane Ridge also hosting Stewart's Creek at 4:30. Grace Franklin's at Franklin Road Academy, and John Overton welcomes Franklin. At 5 o'clock, Santa Fe's at Collinwood, and Columbia Central hosting Cascade. Liberty Creek's at Creekwood. Good Pastures at DCA. Friendship Christian hosting Davidson Academy, while Loretto plays host to Lewis County. Summertown is at Mount Pleasant, while Summit is up at Nolensville. Clarksville Christian takes on Pleasant View Christian, and Greenbrier will be at Portland. Ravenwood plays host to Independence. At 5:30, it's Columbia Academy at Battleground Academy. Hume Fogg at Murfreesboro Central. Springfield at home against Rossview, while Page welcomes Lincoln County. At 6 o'clock, Culleoka will visit Cornersville, while Eagleville will be at Huntland. Wayne County at Richland, live on Pulaski Citizen Live on the Mixler app. Go download it. You can hear the sultry tones of Wade Neely on the call.
I'm getting tuned up right now, partner.
That's right. Antioch's at Smyrna at 6. Also at 6:30 is Rockville at Blackman, and Oakland welcoming Riverdale.
In boys soccer tonight, 5 o'clock kickoff says Ezel Harding travels to Clarksville Academy. Grace Christian Franklin visits Columbia Academy. Friendship Christian will travel over to Good Pasture. McGavock will travel to John Overton. BGA visits Middle Tennessee Christian. DCA will tangle on the road with Mount Juliet Christian. Davidson Academy will visit Nashville Christian. Gallatin in a 5:30 kickoff will host Smyrna. Now into the 6 o'clock window. Creekwood is hosting Clarksville Academy. Liberty Creek will welcome Macon County tonight. Station Camp will also host Maplewood. East Robertson will travel to Stratford. Smith County is on the road at Watertown. Franklin Classical travels to Zion Christian. Richland, the Raiders are on the road tonight versus Community in a 6:30 kickoff. Murfreesboro Central Magnet at Lawrence County also set for 6:30. Now into the 7 o'clock window. Wilson Central is at Beach. Antioch travels to Centennial. Summit visits Columbia in what should be a fun matchup there. Laverne is on the road at Mount Juliet. Oakland will host Stewart's Creek. Rossview entertains Greenbrier. Siegel and Riverdale will get it on. Siegel is your host tonight, as Westmoreland also hosting Merrill Hyde. And rounding out your boys soccer schedule for tonight, White House at White House Heritage. Always a fun rivalry when those two teams get it on.
That's right. College baseball this afternoon, or this evening, I guess, at 6 o'clock over at Hawkins Field. It'll be North Alabama traveling to take on Vanderbilt at 6 o'clock. You can watch it on SEC Network Plus. Also on SEC Network Plus, this one at 5:30 Central Time, 6:30 local time. Tennessee welcomes the Colonels of Eastern Kentucky. Belmont will be up in Clarksville against Austin P at 6 o'clock on ESPN Plus. Also on ESPN Plus at 6 is Lipscomb hosting Tennessee Tech. Middle Tennessee State is in Atlanta in the A, and that will they'll first pitch at 3 o'clock today on ESPN Plus. UT Southern will be at Stillman. They are underway already. In junior college play, Lake Area Academy is taking on Vol State. That's a doubleheader. Started at 1 o'clock and just moments ago. First pitch for Columbia State at Wabash College, home of the Cannonballs.
Love it. College softball we go. Tennessee travels to Virginia Tech. Should be a good one. That's 5 p.m. on ESPNU. Murray State visits Belmont in a 4 o'clock start scheduled for ESPN Plus. A doubleheader between Trevecca on the road at Kentucky Wesleyan. Those contests should be underway as we speak. Christian Brothers visits Pulaski to take on UT Southern. That also is a doubleheader beginning just moments ago at 2 o'clock. And in MLB action tonight, the Astros visit the Pirates at 5:35. 6:20 p.m., the Reds will travel to Hotlanta. And rounding out your MLB scores or schedule of note, Cardinals are at the Rockies at 7:40, and the Brewers visit the Diamondbacks at 8:40 p.m.
That's going to do it, folks, for today's rundown. All right.
Bravo, gentlemen. Bravo.
We've made it.
Take a sip of water. That was good job.
Today's rundown. Normally, the Tuesday rundown is not nearly as long, but I think everybody was making games up from last week, so Monday's scores were a lot longer than they normally would be. We got spoiled last week with the short rundowns. Not this week. Not this week at all.
Lots of games to make up, and the interesting thing, Chris, is a lot of these teams that lost those games last week, they're trying to potentially make those games up, but the schedule's already so condensed. I don't know that we're going to get to make up some of those ones that we lost last week, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's particularly that Giles Richland baseball game at Sam Davis. That's what we were all kind of looking forward to last week, but didn't get to see it. Now, that being said, Wednesday is kind of jam-packed right now for a lot of teams, but some of these teams, especially the lower classes, they don't want to play Wednesday games because they don't have pitching. You got to play district games on Tuesday and Thursday, and so you have to kind of save your pitching. And who really wants the number 3 pitcher at a Class A school, because there just aren't that many of them.
No, not many of note, at least. You're right, and that's kind of touching base there with Giles County. Yeah, they're set for 4 games this week. You got the doubleheader versus Summertown Monday, Tuesday, and they're going to get ready to play on Thursday and Friday as well this week. So a lot of games. Like my colleague on air yesterday, Mark Mize, pointed out, it feels just like a few days ago that we were in Murfreesboro at the state tournament for basketball, but we've blinked and now we're halfway through the spring sports schedule.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that it's already April 11th. I said that couple of days ago. It is really shocking to me, but here we are. It's also a little shocking that we are finally into NBA playoffs. I'm going to tell you, the NBA playoffs are about as long as the entire season.
It certainly feels that way, doesn't it?
I mean, you got 2 days between every game. It's just it's a lot, but the playoffs do start tonight with a couple of play-in games. We'll have the Lakers and the Timberwolves will battle for who gets to play the Memphis Grizzlies on Sunday, right?
Yep.
So I'm really interested in this one, obviously, because I'm kind of a de facto Grizzlies fan. So with Rudy Gobert's suspension tonight, how does that impact the Timberwolves is the real question. And I'm not sure if it does. I mean, obviously he's a great player, but when you've got somebody like that who's clearly causing some tension between the team, sometimes having them away from the team may be the move. So I'll be interested to see how that one plays out tonight.
Yeah, and I was kind of glancing at the odds this morning, and looks like the Lakers are close to a double-digit favorite. Obviously, probably partially because of Gobert. I think it was 8.5 when I looked at it this morning. So also, obviously, LA's been playing great as of late. Read an article that said you can make the case they've been the hottest team in the league since the trade deadline. So, and I text a good friend and a Grizzlies fan. I said, who would you rather have? You could get the rematch versus the Timberwolves, which was a really fun series last year. But I kind of want to avoid having to play the Lakers just because it's going to bring a little extra attention, a little extra scrutiny. And I would, as a Grizzlies fan, I would just really be bummed if they drew the Lakers and it turned into a dud in the first round for Memphis. I'll say that much.
You're right. Los Angeles has been playing really, really well. That being said, their schedule has been a little lax on the back end, and that's that's okay. But this is also a team that has gone out and, go look at the Clippers game. They look terrible against the Clippers. So they're a team that you never know what to expect. And while I would hate to see them, I don't think that they can win a series against Memphis. If this was a one-game thing, I would be wary of the Lakers, but I don't think that they can win an entire series against the Grizzlies. So for that reason, I say bring on the Lakers, because there is a little bit more of attention, and those Grizzlies fans who didn't get to see LeBron during the regular season because he was out will get a chance to see him a couple of times in Memphis. So I say bring on the Lakers, man.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. You make or at least make a compelling argument, and read something crazy this morning that there's only been 4, I think, 7 or 8 seeds, especially in the West, that have won in the last 20-something years. So as scary as it kind of seems, it kind of bleeds right into your point there that, over the long haul, especially in this play-in era, there's never even been a game 7 amongst teams from the play-in. So the play-in teams are winless, and certainly as a Grizz fan, I'm knocking on all the wood that I can here. I'd like that trend to continue, but maybe you make a good point, though. A little extra attention on the Grizz. They don't get on national TV very much, so maybe playing the Lakers wouldn't be so bad after all.
When they are on national TV, it doesn't go great.
Usually not to their advantage, unfortunately. But
yeah, they're kind of like the Braves on Sunday Night Baseball. Just please don't, or on TBS. Just I'd rather not if we can avoid it. So anyway, looking forward to this weekend. It's going to be fun, whoever the Grizzlies get. So we will talk with Michael Wallace of Grind City Media, who is on the Memphis Grizzlies pregame show on Thursday, to get a little preview of what is to come in that Sunday series after we find out the opponent tonight. We're going to take our first break of the day. When we come back, we have Eric Williams of Fox Sports joining us to talk a little bit about the USFL. So stick around here on Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We'll be back to the Lee Company studio right after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Custom Stone Handler supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
Attention Tennessee homeowners, we want to buy your house. Hi, we are Real Property Solutions, a local real estate investing group. We pay cash for all types of property, so you walk away with more money in your pocket because we eliminate any fees, closing costs, and commissions. Now the best part, we can buy your house as is, meaning you don't have to do a thing to your property. You get to take what you want, leave what you don't, and don't even worry about cleaning. We close on your timeline, whether that's 7 days or 70 days. Interested in selling? Just give us a call and we'll come out to your property and quote you a cash offer within 24 hours. Please call 615-527-8750. That's 615-527-8750.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao and Wade Neely coming to you from southern Middle Tennessee as Mo Patton is on vacation out in the middle of the ocean somewhere. They're probably at a stop today, if I had to guess. He might be.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
What's up?
I just found Wade's banner here.
Oh yeah, I had to use that for southern for
official now.
Mornings
Thank
on
you.
Main Street.
Yeah, I just thought that was good. Sorry to interrupt there.
But looking forward to hearing from Mo. Hopefully he'll join us. But we need to go now to the Real Property Solutions hotline. 615-527-8750 is the number to call. If you need to sell your house, they'll buy it as is. You can take what you want, leave what you don't, and they'll close on your timeline. 7 days, 70 days, they don't care. Just let them know. Give them a call. Real Property Solutions, 615-527-8750. And we are welcoming Eric Williams of Fox Sports, who he covers the NFC West. Is that correct, Eric?
Yeah, that's correct.
Awesome. Well, since we have a recent acquisition from the NFC West, and bring me full screen here, Justin, and we'll show him our new stickers. Rand Carthen. Rand has a plan, Eric. And
Yes,
we appreciate you taking care of him in San Francisco for so long, but we'll take him and we'll enjoy him.
Good pickup, good dude. And obviously with the success that the 49ers have had, you're hoping that some of that will rub off with the Titans.
Oh, absolutely. We are. No question. But what we wanted to talk to you about today, Eric, is the USFL. Obviously, it's a Fox Sports owned league, and you've been tweeting about it here as of late. And there's a lot of great stuff around the USFL right now. Obviously, Birmingham, the Stallions got their rings this week from the championship last season. That's always exciting. Go Stallions, giddy up, whatever you want to call it. We like to say #run wild, but they're really trying to sell this giddy up thing. But it's a huge year 2 for a spring football league. That's about as big as it gets, isn't it?
Yeah, no doubt. The first spring football league in decades to have a second season. So the fact that they're able to come back again is huge, as you mentioned. And then you have some familiar faces. The Stallions are defending their title. Both of their quarterbacks are coming back, and Jamar Smith and Alex Magoo. Bo Scarborough is coming back, their top running back. So there's some continuity there and some familiar faces in coming back in year 2. And then you're expanding to 4 different hubs this season. Not only they're going to be in Birmingham, but they're going to be in Memphis, going to be in Detroit, and they're going to be in Canton, Ohio. And so I think that kind of adds another level to what they're doing in USFL, and I'm expecting a good season for them.
Do you feel like that's a solution to, or at least a semi long-term solution to some of these problems that spring leagues have had, is the hub system and kind of slowly building from where they were?
I think so. I think in iterations in the past, when they did these spring leagues, I think they tried to do too much too quick. And I think with the USFL kind of growing it incrementally or slowly, getting out to these 4 hubs, being able to control cost, and then as things are better and revenue is better, continuing to build out. I think it makes a lot of sense. They're at 4 hubs right now. I think, the ultimate goal is to be in all 8 cities for the league, but I think it's also smart to be able to try to control costs early to make sure that you're able to have that long-term sustainability.
With the addition of Memphis and obviously losing Tampa Bay to the Memphis market,
Mhm.
it shows that obviously being able to utilize a stadium is the most important thing. Can they find a stadium? But Memphis makes sense for these leagues, much for the same reason that Birmingham makes sense. It's a big enough market to support a league like this, but also does not have an NFL team. What are your thoughts on how that plays out in the future? Do you think we'll see more major market teams in the mid-sized markets in the USFL, or are they really just trying to find those markets that were successful in the 80s?
I think you're right. I think you're trying to find that sweet spot. I went to school in Memphis in the 90s, and I was there when they were trying to attract an NFL team. The Titans played in Memphis for a few years before they ended up in Nashville. So I think there's an understanding that there are people that will go out and attend games and support this team in a city like Memphis. I'm interested to see how things happen in Detroit. It sounds like ticket sales are going good there in terms of the Michigan Panthers. But I do think, a city like LA, there's too much stuff going on there on the West Coast for a minor league football team, I think, to have success. So I do feel like you have to be, you have to think about where you want to be in terms of these bigger or mid-sized markets, and also look at past history to see if they'll support a team.
Eric, seems like especially whether it's XFL or USFL, any league that's not NFL, is one of the main questions for the novice viewer is who are some names, and you've mentioned Bo Scarborough and a few other guys that kind of just are household names. Alex Collins, I think, also. Just kind of curious, who are some other guys that you would, if you flip on a game at random, you're saying, oh yeah, I definitely remember that guy.
Well, I think obviously Reuben Foster ending up with the Pittsburgh Maulers, first round pick, with the 49ers. Had some off the field issues and a serious knee injury, kind of washed out of the NFL, is trying to get back into the NFL and needs to put some good film out there. I'm interested to see how the Maulers' new head coach, Ray Horton, a defensive minded coach that coached a long time for the Steelers and other stops in the NFL, how he uses him. Corey Coleman, another name, first round pick out of Baylor, is going to be playing for the Philadelphia Stars. Case Kukas is obviously there, who I feel like, if not the best player in the league, is one of the best players in the league. Interesting to see how they use him in that system. So those two obviously stick out. But then there's a number of returning players that had success last year. Marlon Williams is going to probably take on a larger role with the Stallions, with Victor Bolden no longer on that roster. So I just, think if you look at every team, there's kind of one or two players that you'll have some interest in as a fan.
Absolutely. And we've talked about how big of a deal it is, getting to this second year for these spring leagues has been a real challenge in years past for a number of different runs there. And I guess what did the league maybe learn from year one that it's really trying to focus on or implement in league two? We talked about the hubs and things like that, but I'm just curious, maybe in terms of on the field, what is the league trying to improve or tinker with from year one to year two?
I think communication is going to be a big issue in terms of, using those headsets to be able to communicate to players on the field. And then I also feel like fan engagement, continuing to put out a good product on TV that gives fans more of an inside look of what's happening, whether it's the use of drones and having those different angles that you normally won't see in the NFL. Or just, different types of rules that you're seeing on the field. I think the 4th and 15 and being able to use that instead of an onside kick is something that's going to continue to gain steam and maybe see more use of that in the second season. I think anything that you can do to increase fan engagement, fan interest, are going to be things that they experiment in the second year.
Also, I got to ask you, Chris is our resident Birmingham aficionado. So I guess I'm curious, who's the team to watch out for that really could give the Stallions a run for their money this year?
I think it's Philadelphia, with Kuka's comeback. I think if Case had been healthy, we might have saw a different result in that USFL championship game last year. And they're going to have continuity come back, with the same coach, most of the same pieces on offense. So to me, I think Philadelphia is definitely a team to look out for. I guess I'll say the Breakers too. I think they have some interesting pieces on offense and defense. Filippo's a guy that has a history in the NFL, good offensive coach. So that would be my team to look out for in terms of a team that's maybe lying in the weeds a little bit.
You hear that, Chris? There's another couple teams that can sneak up and get your squad there this year.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Case Cookus really is the best player in this league, especially, obviously Kyle Slaughter not being in the league this year has certainly made a difference. But and with football being such a quarterback driven league, it really is where the difference is made. We know that there are only 14 people in the world at any given point who can play the quarterback position in the National Football League at a high level. There just aren't that many of them out there. And then you've got, what is it, around 90 or so that are in the NFL. Now you've got the XFL. Now you've got the USFL. And let's be honest, Jamar Smith was not a very good quarterback last year, Eric, for the Stallions. He just happened to win. I mean, it was, I don't know how he figured it out.
He had his struggles. That's fair.
He just won. And that's all that matters, I guess, in the end. But, when people who really are struggling with spring football see these quarterbacks, you're talking about DeAndre Johnson, who's obviously had some fame through Last Chance U and all of that. McLeod Bethel, I think that is a name to watch. Yeah. And then, you've got guys who are not necessarily starters right now. The quarterback position in this league has to be at least decent for people to care, right?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned some of those names. You're going to want to watch those guys, and I think you're right. It's the quarterback play is so important because it can lose you games. If you get a guy out there that's turning the ball over, you mentioned Jamar, he turned the ball over a little bit, put them in bad positions at times, but then he also made plays at the end of games, whether it was his arm and feet to help them win games. So it can work both ways. And you're right. I mean, it's very hard to find a competent quarterback that can help lead your team to victory. I cover the NFC West. Brock Purdy was a revelation for the Niners. Mr. Irrelevant, did not play like that, on game days for the Niners, and really helped them in a situation where, he was their third guy, but ended up being, in some respects, their best guy. So sometimes you don't know where you're going to get that competent quarterback play from.
And completely switching gears to the coaching side, is there any cause for concern for guys like Kevin Sumlin leaving the league to go be a half assistant on offense at a random Big Ten school?
Yeah.
Is there concern there? I mean, or was that just an opportunity to get back into the college game?
No, I think that's a fair point. You had 4 coaching switches, and you'd like to have more continuity in terms of stability at those positions. I believe with Kevin, I think his son was going to play at Maryland. If I'm correct, I'd have to go back and look. So that might have been part of that decision. And maybe he just felt more comfortable in the college game and he's looking to get back and to be a head coach. And maybe that he just felt it was a better opportunity to coach in college than to continue where he's at. Obviously they made a change with the Panthers as well. Jeff Fisher's no longer there. Mike Nolan, who I covered when I covered the Chargers, I know that he's a good coach and Michigan's going to be in good hands. I think the one thing that you can say positively about that is when guys do leave, they're getting good coaches to replace them. And that lets you know that the jobs are attractive and other coaches feel like there's an opportunity there to at least show that they can be a head coach. So the fact that they've got quality candidates, Ray Horton's from Tacoma, Washington, my same place where I grew up. I know Ray well. Ray's a good coach. I think the fact that they're filling these vacancies with guys that can coach is a good sign for the league.
I wonder how much impact Michigan actually being in Michigan had on Jeff saying, no, I'm good, because our producer, Justin Kulik, he actually was part of an interview with Jeff on another show that we have on our platform here.
Mhm.
And Jeff was all in until he wasn't. So it was kind of a shock to all of us, because he's like, if they'll have me, I'm back. And then, a couple months later, he's not there. So it's really interesting. But, the USFL kicking off this weekend, again, the 3:30 kickoff Central Time in Memphis. They'll take on Philadelphia, and then Birmingham will begin its defense of their title on Saturday night at Protective Stadium in downtown Birmingham on the campus of the BJCC. 6:30 kickoff there. Obviously, Fox is all in on this thing. Having the over-the-air and the Fox brand and network, that's the biggest feather in the cap of the USFL right now, and it's what's going to make them successful, right?
No doubt. And I think being able to have these games on bigger, bigger audiences, so you can have it on the main Fox channel or FS1 and get more eyes on them. Last year, I think they were on FX, or sometimes they were just on streaming. And so to get these television network, you can get more eyeballs on them. I think is a big deal for Fox.
Eric Williams of Fox Sports with us here on the Real Property Solutions Hotline. Eric, thanks for taking some time with us today and getting us ready for this weekend. I'm always looking forward to it. I'm a guy who grew up around the Arena Football League, and so I'm an alt football junkie, especially when there's a Birmingham team involved. So I'm a little weird, but I love it.
That's not an overstatement. He is very football, and all that. It's very true.
I probably annoy the guys on this show by how much I want to talk about the XFL, the USFL, and arena football. But obviously it's a big deal for spring football and for those guys who are looking to take that step to the next level. So it can be done. It was done this year. So.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't talk about it. Kevontae Turpin. I mean, that's your selling point if you're USFL. We had a guy that played in our league and went on to play in the NFL, became a Pro Bowler and All Pro. So it is possible that you make the leap from the USFL to the NFL. As a person that covered the NFL for over a decade, I think it's cool to see some of these back-end roster guys, or guys that were invited to 90-day, rosters for training camp, to find a place where they can continue to play, continue to get better, put out film. And then again, there's that possibility to work themselves back in the NFL if they perform well in the USFL. So if you guys do come down to Memphis, say hello. I will be there for opening weekend down there. And thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. We look forward to talking to you again soon. We'll probably see if we can get you on sometime in the during the football season when we need to talk a little NFC West.
No doubt. Reach out to me. I would enjoy being on again.
All right. Well,
thank you, Eric.
We're going to take a break, and when we come back, a little baseball. We'll start with preps. We'll take you from preps to pros, just like we always do on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Stick around.
This is attorney Bart Durham, and this is me. I'm Aaliyah. Keeping in good physical condition is really important to me. But when I had a wreck with a tractor-trailer truck that hurt my legs so bad I couldn't work for almost a year, I knew I needed a lawyer that understood tractor-trailer cases. So I called Bart. Bart gets millions of dollars for his clients every year.
At Bart Durham Injury Law, we've handled hundreds of tractor-trailer cases.
My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
Walmart Supply Chain is hiring in Lebanon. Earn up to $22.25 an hour when you join our new fulfillment center. Enjoy competitive pay and premium perks, including 100% paid college tuition, 401k match, Flexible schedules, a free Walmart Plus membership that includes discounts, and free Paramount Plus, paid time off, and so much more. Fulfilling work starts right here. Text JOIN to 240-240. That's JOIN 240-240 to apply now.
This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee Sports Editor, three-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
The other guy in Wham married the best looking girl, Bananarama, so the other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice. Welcome back in. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao and Wade Neely with you here on this fine Tuesday. Top 5 Tuesday still to come. Masters moments. Top 5 Masters moments in just a few moments, matter of fact. Wade, you brought to my attention before the show that the Tennessee Baseball Coaches Association has released its, I guess, week 2. This is their second poll.
I think that's correct.
So let's talk a little bit about the TBCA polls. What have we got in Class 1A in terms of Middle Tennessee teams?
Well, the interesting thing to me is after catching Richland a couple of times earlier in the season, I guess it speaks to the non-district schedule that they threw out. Was somewhat surprised to see Richland sneaking in at the bottom of this poll. They check in at number 10 in your Class A poll, and Coach Hughes, though, continues to just crank out great results in district play, and their non-district schedule very challenging. Their win-loss record, maybe not the best, just slightly over 500, but this coaching staff and this team continues to just play at a high level. You see teams like East Robertson mixed in there. They're ranked number 8. South Pittsburgh is at 6th. And then at the top, you have Peabody. Trailing right behind them, though, is a team kind of waiting in Richland's backyard in terms of Eagleville. So very exciting if you're a Richland fan because, yeah, the first couple of games this season didn't look so great, and now you're a few weeks into your district schedule and you're undefeated, and you got a nice win versus Wayne County on the road yesterday. Richland, well-deserved, checking in at number 10 in the Class A poll.
Class 2A, top of the heap, Watertown and Loretto sitting at 1-2. Forest out of Marshall County at number 5, and we've also got White House Heritage in there at 7, and just outside in Smith County on the UC is checking in at number 10. So Watertown, Loretto at the top of the 2A poll.
Yep, and Loretto is a team that I'm rather familiar with, covering Giles County here. That is going to be a massive showdown. Giles County got the win versus Summertown last night. They're looking to maybe potentially pull off a sweep tonight. They'll have to go through a very, very tough Grayson Burleson start. No easy night for any time he's on the mound. But Loretto just seems like, man, how good do they continue to just lock and load every single year? And Ryan Weathers departs and Loretto has a little bit of a quote unquote lull. You can't just, make it to the state championship game every year. But now they seem to be right back there in the 2A poll, and Giles County will certainly have their hands full when they meet the Mustangs in a couple of weeks. They're ranked second right now.
Well, Class 3A, we talked about during basketball season, Wade. Not a lot of 3A teams in this area, but Lincoln County is sitting at number 2 right now in the 3A poll. Upperman, I guess, is close. That's about as close as it gets otherwise. In 4A, Independence drops from number 1 to 5. Clarksville sitting at number 2, while Summit checking in at number 9, who got a win over Independence not too long ago. And then Stewart's Creek at 7 and Rossview at 10. So plenty of Middle Tennessee flavor in the 4A poll.
Yep, and you're exactly right. You got Lincoln County kind of as the lone rep there in the 3A ranks, but when you get up to 4A, a lot of representation. It seems like those Clarksville teams have some good squads over the years, and I can just always remember. It seems like always it's a Murfreesboro team is going to find a way to somehow continue to make noise as the season goes on. So interesting to see these polls, and within the first couple of editions of these polls, kind of like the AP poll in football, it's almost like, hey, we just trot out 10 teams and we'll adjust as necessary as the season goes on. We're just going to take our best guess, so to speak. And so we still got a lot of baseball left, and it'll be interesting to see how these polls look at the end of the regular season.
Yeah, especially when, and I'm just throwing this out there. Y'all, you don't come at me, TBCA. Y'all are the ones who did this to yourselves. Okay. Columbia Academy is number 4 in Division 2A, while Grace Franklin is number 2. Now they split, and Grace did win one of the 2 games in the head-to-head, but Columbia Central is 15-1 overall, including a 8-5 win over Loretto. I mean, they beat Sweetwater, who is ranked. I'm struggling here. I mean, sometimes you just got to go with it. It's rankings, but I think that's an interesting, thought process when you've got Grace Franklin has been really good over the last couple of years. Good pasture, again, just like basketball, kind of far and away the number 1 in Class 2A. But Grace Franklin at 2, Clarksville Academy at 3. They're very, very good as well, although they just lost to Good Pasture yesterday. Columbia Academy at 4. And that's pretty much it for Providence Academy for Middle Tennessee. And then in Class 2 AA, CPA sits at 5, Lipscomb's at 6, MBA at 8, Father Ryan at 10. Nobody in the top 4, though. Baylor, Christian Brothers, McCauley, and Knoxville Catholic. A lot of East Tennessee flavor there, not surprisingly.
Yeah, representing well over there in East Tennessee. Man, those teams just continue to play baseball at a really, really high level. Seems, by and large, the East, we think about East Tennessee being a football powerhouse, but it seems like over the years, their baseball squads are Middle Tennessee is obviously very strong in baseball too, but it seems like East Tennessee is certainly packing a punch across all classifications and divisions over there.
No question. Going to be a great week to kind of hash a lot of these out, because district play is taking place, especially in those Division 2 areas. So we'll see, because there's just not as many teams. So obviously it kind of takes care of itself. Mm-hmm. In the professional ranks, yesterday Astros get a big win over the Pirates, the Pirates, if you will. And always enjoy watching the Pirates, because you never know what you're going to get with those guys. Brian Reynolds is fantastic, by the way, just an absolute monster. But obviously Valdez had a great game, and the Astros get the 8-2 win.
Yeah, good win, and that brings back some nostalgic memories for me of the old NL Central. Those 2 teams getting it on, and I can vividly remember, Billy Wagner, the old Astros closer.
Former Braves closer.
Yeah, they played a doubleheader, and I want to say he had an absolute meltdown, one of the rare meltdowns he had in his career against the Pirates. And I'm not saying it haunted my entire childhood, but it came pretty close, right?
I can understand. Well, that's one guy that we are both rooting for to get into the Hall of Fame because he certainly deserves it. The Braves got some unwelcome news today. Ian Anderson's going to be out for the year. He's going to have Tommy John surgery after injuring his elbow in AAA Gwinnett. So there's that. But Bryce Elder had a great performance last night in a win over the Reds. Of course, Orlando Arcia's insurance run in the 8th was huge because A.J. Minter gave up a pair in the 9th inning to blow the save. It was 3-3 going to the bottom of the 9th, and Braves couldn't put anybody across. So to the extra inning with the stupid base runner rule. And Jonathan India brings home a Reds runner. I don't even know who it was because I don't know who hits in front of him. Just that's so dumb. It's dumb. It's dumb. Anyway, Reds go up 4-3, but one of the weirdest phrases you'll hear in baseball, Wade, the 2-run leadoff homer.
Yeah. I went to the Sounds game 2 weekends ago, and all 3 games go to extras. And on the Sunday game that I was at, Main Street Media Day, not to brag or plug, I should say, but
come see us.
Yeah, check us out. You get to extra innings and you're thinking, okay, we got a nip and tuck game. Things are going to be tight. All it takes is one hit or one play, and that's exactly what happened to the Sounds. They gave up 3 runs, I think it was, in the top of the 10th there, and all of a sudden, that's a lot to come back from, even though you're going to be put in the same situation. It doesn't feel quite right, does it?
No, it's just weird. But here's what was so cool about it. Obviously, Sean Murphy, he struggled a little bit to start the season, hits a home run, wins the game. And after the game, Dale Murphy tweets simply Murph with a couple of exclamation points, kind of passing the torch almost to the new catcher for the Atlanta Braves. And that's pretty cool.
How about that? Yeah. Baseball's got these just awesome moments that if you really are in kind of the minutia of the game, they're so fun. And, especially during the World Baseball Classic, you see just baseball's got these cool seminal moments that a lot of sports kind of don't capture, I feel like, as well as, it's just like that. Dale Murphy just kind of passing the torch right there. You're just like, man, those good, wholesome moments amongst a legend to a young future legend potentially there.
Yeah, absolutely. With it, obviously the Reds, you just got to get to the Reds bullpen. If you can get to the Reds bullpen, you can beat them. They're pretty tough everywhere else, but boy, that bullpen is just awful. And I feel bad for David Bell. I have a lot of friends who are Reds fans just in this area, but a lot of folks who are from Kentucky who are Reds fans. And David Bell, poor guy. If you are looking for a manager after this guy gets fired for inexplicable reasons at some point, which he will, I don't think you can judge this guy based on his tenure with Cincinnati, right? I mean, he's been given nothing to work with.
Yeah, and there's, like you said, you can only make so much chicken salad, right?
That's right.
Come on now, but good win for him. But yes, that's a tough gig and a tough assignment, and someone's got to try it out and wear the manager jersey. But man, I'm kind of with you. If you can't judge that guy just based on the situation that he was in there, the hand he was dealt, so to speak, in Cincinnati.
No, not at all. Tonight. Oh, I wanted to ask you about this. Did you see this Evan Gaddis stuff on Twitter yesterday?
No, but inform me about the former Braves / Astros legend.
You ain't gonna want to hear it.
Uh-oh. Okay. I don't like that already.
He essentially just lays everything out there about 17. I mean, yes, the cheat tweets. It's not good. I mean, he's talking about, he said, or the people that knew we were cheating and created signs that nobody could decipher. Respect to the pitchers and catchers. The craziest thing about the cheating year is facing a guy like you, Darvish, and getting shut out knowing what's coming. Dude, I'm telling you, Evan Gaddis went wild yesterday.
Yeah, man, I'm pulling this up now, and maybe I was just burying my head in the sand, hoping this thing would just finally blow over once and for all. But Oso Blanco, woof, you're right, he's going nuclear.
He really did. I mean, he kind of just, I can guarantee I was terrified and probably on performance enhancing drugs. I'm sorry, what? Was the pinch hit you hit for a homer a trash can bang? Yes, I'm pretty sure. Backdoor cutter slider, which as we know now is what, Wade? A cutter slider is now known as?
Fill me in, partner.
Oh, you've not seen this? The photos from Brewis Park? It's a slutter. This is a true story.
Okay.
Just
This is an ambush on Wade.
No, that's just what it's called. And it's the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. So yeah. But dude, Evan Gaddis went nuclear. That's a great way to put it.
And apparently he didn't just stop at baseball, based on some of the further tweets that I'm reading that he had later in the evening.
I don't know what he was drinking yesterday, but I kind of want some.
He had
Whatever
some heavy.
It was really nice.
He was doing some heavy-handed pours. I'll say that much. It looks like.
At 10:41 last night, he says, and it turns out I say stupid stuff from time to time. Good night.
Man, yeah. Like I said, I was blissfully unaware. Like I said, I'm just going to continue to put my fingers in my ears about 17 and just hope it eventually blows over once and for all. But I guess
nuts, not. Dude. That was the wildest thing that I had seen in a while. But anyway, since we are off the rails as usual, we will take a break, give Wade some time to decompress from me just throwing curveballs at him or slutters, and go to
add that to my repertoire. I don't know if I can use that on the broadcast for
honestly
for baseball, or definitely not softball tonight. I'll say that much.
You're on the internet, so. But yeah, we'll go to Chip Walters, who's standing by in just a few minutes here on Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint. Be back to the Lee Company studio after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
Attention Tennessee homeowners, we want to buy your house. Hi, we are Real Property Solutions, a local real estate investing group. We pay cash for all types of property, so you walk away with more money in your pocket because we eliminate any fees, closing costs, and commissions. Now the best part, we can buy your house as is, meaning you don't have to do a thing to your property. You get to take what you want, leave what you don't, and don't even worry about cleaning. We close on your timeline, whether that's 7 days or 70 days. Interested in selling? Just give us a call and we'll come out to your property and quote you a cash offer within 24 hours. Please call 615-527-8750. That's 615-527-8750.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back into Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, Wade Neely with you here on this fine Tuesday. Again, top 5 Masters moments coming in just a few minutes. But first, we go to the Real Property Solutions hotline, where we welcome in the voice of the Blue Raiders, Chip Walters, who is clearly not in the A today.
I'm not in the A or north of the A or wherever. I'm in the M today. And, my most common favorite Masters moment is the email that I get every year.
That's
Yet
it.
again, you have not been selected for tickets. So
Some
it's a
of us on this
tradition
show can't
unlike
say
any
that.
other. Yeah,
Some of us on the show can't say that.
that's correct. True. That's true.
I don't know, Wade. What did you get an email, or did you just buy tickets after market?
A friend of mine lives in Augusta, and it's one of those deals. It's best not to ask questions, but they acquire badges every year. But I'm like you guys. I painfully get that email every single year. So I'm glad we can all share that bond.
That's right.
Yeah, but one of us actually got to go at some point. So,
I was hoping to sneak over there over the weekend too. I kept, everybody was saying they wanted the weather to improve. I had to go to a wedding in South Carolina, and I was in the neighborhood, and I kept hoping the weather would get worse and worse, and maybe I could buy a ticket in the parking lot for, I don't know, $800. I'm sure they probably would still go for, just because that's how that place is. But alas, it was not meant to be.
Chip, good news
Yes, sir.
out of the borough last night. Got some,
Absolutely.
Always good when you can go to a recruit and say, if you play here, you can play in the professional ranks. Because
you look,
that have been drafted.
Yeah, Ksenia Maleshka became the fifth Lady Raider to have been drafted in the WNBA draft last night. Went in the 3rd round to the Chicago Sky, and and when Middle was at their best this year was when she was at their best, or at her best, I should say. And she has a game, I think, that's built for the professional ranks. And I think, it's all about her and being able to get the focus that she needs. And I think she'll be a really good pro, and I think has the body that, barring injury, can play for a long time.
As Wade is wearing his Las Vegas Aces t-shirt, thanks to
big Aces guy, thanks to Alicia this year.
I was going to say, I'm following the Aces much closer now because Alicia is there. That's correct.
So that's always good. And as you can see, Rick, well, you can't see it now, but Rick Insel stands behind me on the set here. So, big week for Middle's women, and it's always fun to see your kids succeed at the next level in the professional ranks.
It is, and that's one of those things that and I think Coach Stock was the one who really kind of boiled it down and started using it on social media a lot. Was you can reach all your dreams at Middle Tennessee, and obviously they have done the job of putting guys in the NFL. Richie James with his new deal with the Kansas City Chiefs is that's exciting. Waiting to see the outcome on see how things are going there, but the pro day was not too long ago, and I think 20 NFL franchises were here and 12 or 8 from the Canadian League were here. So they're getting seen. Men's basketball right now doesn't have anybody in the NBA, but they've got about 15 guys playing in Europe and around the world. So there's a lot of guys that are continuing to play basketball and be paid for it. And now with the women, like we mentioned, Ksenia is the fifth to go. You've got all those guys who still are in professional baseball in one role or another. Michael McHenry has put up the tools of ignorance and gone into the broadcast booth with the Pirates. So there's still Blue Raiders out there, and the way this team is playing this year, there may be some guys who are going to get a chance to play pro ball down the road.
Well, let's talk about it, because it's never a bad time to take a trip 100 miles north and get 3 wins.
Well, and in this year, because there were 9 schools, you were 10 teams in the league. You had 9. You would have 9 opponents, but they want to play a 30-game baseball schedule, so you had to play somebody twice, and it just made sense for everybody to play whatever your closest natural rival is. Like FIU and FAU will play 2 series. Middle and Western will play 2 series. Probably UAB and Louisiana Tech are playing 2 series. And it goes on and on. Rice and maybe Dallas Baptist are doing that this year. So it's and now Middle has taken 5 out of 6 from Western, beat 2 out of 3 in Murfreesboro, swept 3 in Bowling Green, and have now swept 2 straight series and find themselves all alone in 3rd place in the league, behind FAU, or not, rather behind UTSA, I should say, which it still amazes me that how UTSA can win in baseball with the facilities they have. And then Dallas Baptist is in 2nd place, and they do have unbelievably good facilities at Dallas Baptist. So this is the first year they've come in, because Southern Miss, Marshall and all they left to go to the Sun Belt. So you trade one top 10 program in Southern Miss for Dallas Baptist, who is perennially a top 10 program. So the league as a whole is typically in the top 5 in college baseball, and that hasn't changed again this year. And so far, Middle has played really well, in particular in conference play. I think last week when we were talking, the Blue Raiders were getting ready that night to play in Huntsville against Alabama. Bama ended up scoring runs late to break open a tie game in front of almost 7,000 in Huntsville, and which Huntsville is also another good storyline for us this week.
I was about to say we haven't talked to you since the announcement, but Huntsville named the site for the next 2 Conference USA basketball tournaments. No room for curtains in the Von Braun Center and Probst Arena, but certainly a place that will be welcomed for our friends in Murfreesboro. It's a lot shorter trip to Huntsville than it was to Frisco.
By just a few miles, Murfreesboro is closer to Probst Arena than Jacksonville State. But think about Middle, Western, Jacksonville State, Louisiana Tech, possibly even Liberty next year. Kennesaw in 2 years,
Right.
will all be drivable, and fans can get there. And that's something that Middle fans have been clamoring for years. He said, just put it where we can drive to get there. And now you're playing back in a traditional basketball arena. Even though Von Braun typically has held more hockey games than basketball, but it is a much more traditional basketball setup in a regular basketball arena, instead of putting floors down on a football stadium, which for which the Star and the Ford Center there is incredible. Beautiful setup and all of that, and outside, everything that's around it. It would be a fantastic place should the league ever decide to hold its football championship game in a neutral site. It would be absolutely perfect for that. But I think the move to Huntsville, for a lot of reasons, it has been received very positively by all kinds of fan bases throughout the conference, and I'm looking forward to it. I know the folks who went down last week, they did a little walking tour around, and folks who might that were in the travel party that went down there for the announcement. I think a lot of folks were might not have been to downtown Huntsville in just in a hot minute, and came away just really impressed with
than
it.
It used to be.
It really is, and Huntsville, believe it or not, from what I'm told, is now the largest city population-wise in the state of Alabama.
It is, in fact.
So there you go, and when you think about, you've got teams starting to play some games at Toyota Field, like Middle played baseball there, Jack State played North Alabama there in football a year ago. That could end up being a site for the baseball tournament at some point, should they want to get into that business there. So I think Huntsville's positioned themselves in a really nice spot right now to partner up with Conference USA.
Absolutely. And Chip, that was my kind of question for you, is, I got you guys beat down here in Pulaski by just a few miles closer in proximity,
right.
But kind of hearing some reverberations from south of where I'm at, they're excited. And I can sense Huntsville's trying to make that push to become a new kind of hot, hip city. And I guess I'm just curious, how does that really, them kind of embracing CUSA coming in, what does that do for both the league, and what does that maybe do for the reputation of that city?
Well, I think it works both ways, and that's why it is a partnership. And I think the Conference USA schools are going to be pleasantly surprised with how the city of Huntsville and the Huntsville Sports Authority, how they reach out. To me, I've kind of got the feeling that Huntsville is going to embrace this tournament like you see when you come to Murfreesboro for the basketball championships here, and how, city folks have, volunteered to be part of either the basketball tournament or spring fling for years. And Murfreesboro has really, it's been a point of pride for Murfreesboro. And I think that's going to happen as we go to Huntsville as well. And I think for the sports fan in Huntsville, it's a great opportunity to go see a top 10 conference tournament, right there. And obviously, FIU has brought a very nice spotlight to the league, along with North Texas UAB and Charlotte and Rice. And ironically, all of those schools are going to be gone. But you bring in fresh faces with Jacksonville State, Liberty, Stephen F. Austin, not Stephen F. Austin, but the other one in Texas, and New Mexico State. So you're going to have some folks excited to be there. And I think, for Middle fans, if we have the kind of teams we've had, the past several years, that, it's an easy drive, whether you go down through Shelbyville, Lynchburg, over to Fayetteville. And I mean, if it's daylight, you might want to go over the ridge, but a very easy 2-hour drive, hitting 840 down 65, and you're right there. So just a ton of excitement, I think. And like I said, I have not seen one negative comment on social media, which is
Well, that's
known to
because
have
you're not
negative
following
comments.
anybody in Texas, apparently.
Well, who's left? I mean,
Well,
Rice is leaving, North Texas is leaving, UTEP. I mean, they were having to travel 800 miles anyway
either way
to get to Dallas. So
well,
it doesn't really matter.
That was kind of my thought. They said, well, what Huntsville doesn't make sense. I'm like, 5 of the 9 teams in the conference are east of Huntsville. It makes sense.
Right. So it's about as balanced as it gets. At one time, back in the day, Kermit and I were talking about just throwing out cities, and I mean, Huntsville's came up,
South
Memphis, South Haven. That was one that I threw out because we had played Ole Miss there and beat Ole Miss at that arena in South Haven. The other thing is if you could get the Sun Belt people and the Conference USA people to do anything together, the Pensacola situation would have been great to where the Sun Belt is there for the first week. They move out. Conference USA comes in. It's on spring break week of most of the conference schools. And I thought that would have been a really nice, kind of like what Las Vegas has done with the West Coast and the Mountain West and the WAC and the Pac-12. That could have happened. And who's to say that Huntsville or Pensacola, somebody like that, couldn't continue to go down that road and be that location in the East.
What a conference tournament on the beach in the middle of winter? Yes, please.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Chip, before we let you go, real quick, did you want to?
I've got a couple of notes too, real quickies.
Okay, well, then I'll let you go through it because you probably will touch on what I was about to say.
Was it about tennis?
It was, in fact.
Oh, about the USTA,
yes,
and they're with the new tennis facility, which is part of the overall Bill Blue campaign. The USTA and USTA South, as well as USTA Tennessee, have combined to grant Middle $82,500, and that's free dollars coming in to help build this facility that is now coming out of the ground. When y'all were over for the state tournament, it was kind of just flat ground, but now you got steel coming out of the ground, and you're going to have, by the time you get back over here for spring fling, you're going to start to see that come alive. The other little story I had today was kind of a feel good, and it goes back to the Final Four with FAU. You've all heard of, we've all read about Mattress Mac and the Houston furniture store guy that has, made all these big bets and all this kind of stuff. Well, apparently, and this didn't get a whole lot of play, and I'm not sure if you guys have seen it, but Mattress Mac, when FAU won their region to go to the Final Four, he got in touch with FAU Athletics and did a $5,000 NIL deal with every FAU player to be used for their families to get to the Final Four.
Wow.
It's pretty strong.
Cool.
Yeah.
It is, in fact. Man, how about that?
Well, I just caught that nugget the other day.
I will tell you, it's, FAU certainly shined a light, and I'm excited for the future of Conference USA, because even though those teams are leaving, the conference is gaining some very strong athletic programs. Obviously, Jacksonville State and Liberty being among those.
Sam Houston won 24 games in basketball this year.
Sam Houston is fantastic. It's going to be a really, really good year. It's going to be interesting and intriguing because it's going to be kind of new for everybody, but I'm looking forward to it. So
it does give a little bit of a freshness. There are going to be a lot of friends in the broadcast side of things that I'm going to miss. David Crane at UAB, one of my best buddies in the business, going to hate to see him go. Ken LaVicka, who really at FAU had gained a lot of notoriety through their run through the basketball tournament. My pals at North Texas, going to miss them. Hank Dickinson and Dave Barnett. So it's but then again, I've got
Greg Seitz and Mike Paris.
And Mike Paris, absolutely, and my boy Mike Ceccarelli, who's in sponsorship sales down at Jack State. So I'm friends with one of the members of the board of trustees at Jacksonville State. So it's kind of a little bit kind of old home week.
Well, it should be fun, and we'll look forward to talking to you again next week. And Mo will be back from vacation, and he can, rub it in our faces.
There you go. There you go.
Thanks, man. We appreciate you.
Thank you, boys. Thanks.
All right, that's Chip Walters on the Real Property Solutions hotline here. Give them a call, 615-527-8750. They'll buy your home as is and close in 7 days, 70 days. They don't care. It's on your timeline. Just let them know. All right. We go now to the top 5 this week. And Justin.
Yes, sir.
Have you had a chance to get that up yet? The
poll?
The poll? If not, that's fine. Perfectly
Not
fine.
yet. No, I have not done the one from last week, but we have one in the can though.
That's okay. We'll get it going. This week, top 5 as always is brought to you by Mid-South 5 Fitness. Dallas Steel, fine folks at Mid-South 5 Fitness. 2 great locations, one in Columbia, one in Franklin. Go see them and get your health and wellness right. I need to go see him for sure. If he can fit me in, it's going to take a lot of time, Thaddeus, Dallas. So, at Steel Athletes at STEEL athletes.com. Masters moments.
It just so happens every single car is deciding to drive by at once right now. As you can hear the great mountains outside.
Every car. Every one of them.
All the cars.
Usually that doesn't happen. But anyways, continue. Top 5. What were you saying?
All right. Top 5 Masters moments. Here we go. Wade, go ahead and go first.
Oh, you served it up to me on a platter because I got to go. Only since that was one of the years I got to go to the Masters. 2019, Tiger Woods, the greatest comeback potentially in the history of sports. He rises back to the summit and wins his first major in over a decade.
Unbelievable story. Unbelievable.
Justin?
My number 1, actually, it's a little bit of a cheat here just because I had time to pull it up while y'all were doing this. But this shot right here by Bubba Watson to secure his master win through the pine straw.
That's it. That's strong.
Iconic shot.
Unbelievable. I mean, he couldn't even believe it.
That's strong. I'm going to go number 1. I'm going to go with 97 Tiger.
Ooh.
The first one.
Dominance.
The hug, the dad hug.
The loose turtleneck.
Yep, the dad hug. That's what I'm going with. All right. Wade, number 2.
I got to go with it so nobody else steals it. How many times have you seen over the years? Maybe. Yes, sir. Mr. Lundqvist himself with the iconic call of Jack Nicklaus back in the day.
I wasn't even born yet. Neither, I guess.
86. I was close, but not out of the womb just yet. When Jack Nicklaus had one of the greatest shots, and Vern brought him home. It seemed like he was talking to that ball almost.
That's funny. That is a really good one. I forgot or I saw on Twitter the other day that Jack Nicklaus still is doing the ceremonial tee shot, which is so cool.
He sure is.
I love that.
JK, number 2.
2001 chip by the Tiger, the one that lands on the slope and slowly trickles down. Gave Nike their best promotion ever because it barely almost rolls. It doesn't roll in and then it rolls in. You know what I'm talking about? 2001.
That was Vern Lundquist also.
Man,
Uncle Vern was great at golf. I'm gonna go with Lefty. One giant leap for Lefty.
Philly.
Man, and Phil, he had a absolutely
I love Phil.
Massive Sunday this year too.
He did.
Exactly. He finished 3rd, I think, right? Didn't he? 3rd or 5th?
No, he was. Yes, yeah.
He ended up 3rd but he would have been leader in the clubhouse if dude doesn't make that one putt. Number 3.
All right, I got a couple of silly ones here to close us out. I don't think either one of you guys will pick it, but I don't know if you guys remember, but also that 2019 Masters when Tiger is kind of making his run. There's a shot that's hit near the gallery, and a security guard is running at full speed trying to clear and contain the gallery, and he almost just blew Tiger's leg out from underneath him. He slipped and fell and about ended Tiger's day, round, and career, I think, right there in one fell swoop. You can find it on the web, and I just remember watching on Twitter because no one knew the security guard's name, but he was public enemy number one as he almost took out Tiger back in 2019.
God, him and that leg, man, just can't keep it.
He's about to win the Masters again, the greatest comeback story potentially ever, and he almost got wiped out by a random security guard slipping and falling.
Oh, he'll win. He'll win when he's like 91.
Could happen. Justin, number 3.
My number 3 moment would probably be, man, that's a tough one. I would go with Phil Mickelson's also pine straw hit out of the that same hole on I believe it was a playoff. I can't remember which Masters it was. I'm sorry, I drew a blank there, but it was the Masters. It was his third Masters.
His third win?
Yes, his third Masters win. Yeah, and out of the pine straw, just really anything out of a pine straw. I can't hit out of grass, and I know that's where the ball's supposed to be. So if you're on pine straw and you hit the ball well, let alone right next to the hole, you're amazing.
My number 3 is Jordan Spieth just right into Race Creek. And the reason that it's my number 3 is because it is what gave Jacksonville State alumnus Danny Willett the opening to slip on the green jacket. Yeah, he did it twice.
Yeah, and that one was on my radar, and I don't know what it is. This is completely unfounded. I'm not going to say hate, but just Spieth is not my guy. I find golf so weird that some people, have quote unquote their guys, and Spieth is just not my guy. And so I'm not saying I'm ever rooting ill will on him as a human, but man, it was I took a little smile when he took a couple drinks that day.
I'm not going to lie to you, Wade, I don't know what it is. It really isn't even anything. He's a nice guy, seems like, just isn't my guy.
Tough for me to root for. I guess I said I had a couple silly ones. I'm closing it out too. You guys remember a couple years ago, Tony Finau on the par 3 contest. He's got his whole family there. His kid is there, and he hits a hole-in-one. And as he's running down the fairway celebrating, he cracked his ankle.
Oh, and he couldn't play for the. Oh my God!
He was potentially one of your favorites in 2018, I think. On fire, playing very, very well, and he hits one of the most iconic, moments maybe of his career, a hole-in-one on the par 3, and he cracked his ankle wide open.
Oh, you have to walk that one off. You have to absolutely show no pain, pick up the ball out of the hole, and then you walk off, and then you cry later.
Jack and Jackie didn't wait to cry. They walked off 18th, embraced and crying. Your next one?
Oh, mine would be I'm gonna go JT winning it, man. Just in general, I like JT's my guy. I think if I played golf in high school, and I would like to say I could have gone to college for it if my mental game was okay. And I think he has a great mental game, and I just respect it.
I'm going to go Marco Mira, 98, with the walk-off. Considering that he was basically – nobody even knew who he was all day long.
Yeah.
And then walks it off on 18.
That amateur did really well this past week.
Yeah.
What was the name? Last name
Sam Bennett. And number 5.
Also, I did want to point out that Tony Finau, it was kind of a little bit of a storybook ending. He actually fights through the injury and goes on to finish in the top 10.
Does he really? I thought that.
But it was one of those injuries, his chances of winning it are probably straight up out the window. But at that point, he was able to still battle for a top 10. And since I'm completely off the rails on mine, the other injury, quote unquote, this is definitely in quotation marks, Dustin Johnson slips and falls down the stairs, wink, wink, as they say a couple years ago, and mysteriously has to withdraw. Which was good that he ends up coming back and, winning it all in 2020, because that was
he was number 1 at that point.
absolutely on fire. You know, everybody's thinking he's going to win the whole thing, and then he mysteriously slips and falls, as they say. But he comes back and wins it in 2020, so he did redeem himself eventually. But that I hate that I've got the injury bug on so many of mine, but that's what I'm going with for number 5.
That's a good one. That's actually hilarious. Is it
All right.
Is that it?
Yeah,
or?
it's your turn.
Oh, my phone. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go with my number 5. Man, you took my 2019 one. I'm gonna go with Zach Johnson when he won it. I really like him. He's a cool guy. And yeah, he is I don't really have a specific reason why during the game, or sorry, the match. But Zach Johnson winning in 08 was awesome, I think, because I like him as a
big
player.
Zach Johnson guy. Who knew?
Yeah, I like him. I like Seymour putters, I just never had one, and I really like a Seymour putter.
I'm going to go with I'm going to say 1978 Hubert Green had a 3-foot putt on 72 that would have put him to a playoff with Gary Player, and then he hears Jim Kelly describing for the radio listeners. And he backed away, indicated he needed quiet, got reset, pushed the putt into Story. Loses it.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
Dang radio guys will get you every time.
Stinking
right?
radio guys. And speaking of them, we've got them here. So
yeah,
we are way over time. Sorry.
We are. We're gonna get an email.
We're gonna get yelled at, but that's okay. It is what it is. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We'll be back to the Lee Company studio tomorrow at 2:00. Heather Williams talking NASCAR, and somebody else. We'll find out later. It's a mystery guest for tomorrow. But until then, go listen to Pulaski Citizen Live tonight. Wade will be on the call in Linville as Richland and Wayne County will play softball. So
It's going to be a good one. Thank you, guys.
We'll see y'all next time.